Kane. South Carolina knocked off the Baylor Bears. Actually embarrassed them today. They beat them 70-50, but the game was never close. Jordan, it's their first regional final for the first time in program history. Frank Martin was asked about South Carolina's defensive style. Take a listen.
It's beautiful to us, which is what matters. You know, I'm sure there's people who don't like it. That's their prerogative. It's they play, you know, if they're a coach, they can coach however they want. If they're a fan, they can root for a team that plays the style they like. For us, we love it. This is what gives us our edge. After the first, Len, I don't know, somewhere in late November, when we played Michigan, I can't remember. That's why I'm trying to figure out when it was. I left that game. I said, this team has a chance to be the best defensive team I've coached. That was my thought process when I got home and broke that film down.
All right, you heard Frank Martin. What do you think of South Carolina's defensive performance against
This is the beauty of the tournament, Tim, right? Contrasting styles. You got the up-tempo offenses matched against the stingy defense with athletes. You got the team that spreads you out and wins with the three ball. You got the team that has great guard play.
I don't want to see South Carolina win national championship.
But why don't you?
Boring.
But Tim, you're a basketball guy, man. Like, that's the beauty of the game is matchups and how certain teams win.
If South Carolina wins the national championship, that would be an utter letdown to the season.
It wouldn't be good for the brand. But for us who are basketball guys, you got to rise above and be better than that, man. Like, people say defense wins championships, right? This could be the epitome of that cliche. And maybe that cliche plays to be real this year. Will South Carolina win the national championship? Hell, did you think they were going to be here right now? I didn't, right?
Yeah,
but
I didn't think they'd beat Baylor.
But they're here. And it shows that you don't have to have the guy who's the number one rated recruit surrounded by all the top rated recruits. You just got to have guys who have competitive fire. You got to have guys that want to will to win. You got to have a leader, Sindarius Thornwell, who's a hell of a player. Yeah. Everybody knows about him in that conference.
He's an NBA player.
But you also have to have an identity. Teams that know who they are teams that win in this tournament. The teams that know who they are. Kentucky knows who they are. Carolina knows who they are. South Carolina now knows who they are. And that's why these teams are there. Xavier knows who they are. Get in line with Trevon Blewett and follow suit. Some of these teams have found their identity later in the tournament. But some of these teams have had their identity for years before, or this preseason, or during the conference season. South Carolina is who they knew that they were.
I think they've been fortunate and caught teams at the right time. I thought they had favorable matchup when they were in South Carolina and Greenville.
I mean, just lay it up. Lay out the analysis on this. It's about matchups.
No, Baylor played horrible. What do you do? Baylor played terrible.
Do you know who makes them play terrible?
Oh, do you don't think it was a benefit for South Carolina playing Greenville against Duke?
Tim, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Some teams, they play in proximity.
They played in their backyard against a higher seed.
So that should just move you on to the finals.
No, but they're able to feed off the energy of that crowd. How many more home games did you win at Notre Dame than on the road? Why was that?
Tim, but at the end of the day, the talent rises to the top. Villanova, I made the argument that they shouldn't have lost in the second round because they should have been playing an 8 seed like Wisconsin. And you know what people told me that made me see? Because I can admit when I'm wrong. You can't. That's one of your flaws. One of the many laundry lists of flaws. But what it comes down to is if Villanova was the best team, then win the effing game. That's what it comes down to. If you're destined to be the champion, win the game, right? Look at me when I'm talking to you. Win the game, right?
South Carolina has this much percentage chance to win national
championship. And how much percentage chance did you get them to get here? How much percentage of a chance did you get them to get to the Elite Eight?
They have this much percentage
chance.
How
much percentage chance did you get them to get to the Elite Eight? You don't have to answer the question.
I loved Baylor.
Tim, that's what fuels a team like South Carolina. Frank Martin, unapologetic. You can go out there and say that. Again, it's identity. They have an identity. They win with defense. And that's what's gotten them there. And why can't they win another game and get to Phoenix?
Just move to Charleston. Just leave.